Hey everybody, today I'm going to show you how to mix a complementary color scale with 5 steps. Before I do that, I just wanted to review a couple of quick things. So we are looking at the artist's color wheel here. You can pick these up for a couple of bucks at any art store, and there's a ton of information on this wheel. We have the 12 colors, and you can also see that you can sort of spin this wheel around, and it will show you what happens if you add different hues to a particular color. And there's also a value scale here. To review, there are 3 properties for color. Hue refers to the color names that we typically think about when we're talking about colors such as red, orange, yellow, purple, etc. Saturation, intensity, or chroma all refer to the same thing, and that's how bright or vivid the color is. So when you have a really saturated color, it is a very strong color. And value is the lightness or darkness of a color. Complementary colors are colors that are across from each other on the color wheel. So yellow and violet, red and green, blue, violet, and yellow, orange. You can see on one half of the slide the pairs are listed for you. And there are 6 sets of complementary colors in the artist's 12-step color wheel. This slide shows you what happens when you mix 2 complements together. So when you take red and you mix it in equal parts with green, you will get a neutral color. And the same thing applies to all 6 sets of the complements. When you mix these colors together, you get something that looks kind of more like a muddy brown or a gross khaki color. But these colors are really important because when you are making a painting, unless you are creating something with very flat space and you want that sort of vivid color world, you will use these colors that are less saturated to help create volume within your paintings. So here is a photo that I took of a blueberry bush. You can see there's a big range of different types of greens on all of the leaves within this one image. And then this is the kind of green that you might expect when you buy paints at a store. It's very bright, super vivid, very, very saturated green color. But if you were to use this green color alone, changing the value by adding white, gray, or black, your greens in your image are gonna look flat and they won't have the volume or you won't be able to create the sense of space that you might be hoping to achieve. These greens over here are actually greens that I've picked out from this photograph. And you can see that many of them are really not very saturated. To achieve these less saturated greens, you'll start with the green and then add varying amounts of red to your color. To shift the value, then you will add white, gray, or black as needed. Remember, when you are mixing, you always want to add a small amount of the darker color into the lighter color, a smaller amount of the opaque color into the transparent color, and try to stick to single pigment paints as much as possible. I've sped up this part of the video to save time. First, I measure and draw a rectangle that is 1 inch by 5 inches. Next, I divide this shape into 5 equal squares. Working with a clean palette and my color set, I have decided that I am going to work with red and green as my 2 complementary colors. I mix the two reds, Vermilion and Crimson Lake, until I have a medium red that is not too warm and not too cold. I'm working with the 1/2-inch wash brush that's included in the brush kit in the art kit. Its rectangular bristles are a perfect match for filling in a geometric shape like a square. If you are having trouble staying in the lines, you might want to switch to the smaller brush. You can also use your free hand to help stabilize your arm as you paint. Now I will mix the green. There is a green in the watercolor kit, but I am mixing the cool yellow, lemon yellow, and the cool blue, cobalt blue for extra practice mixing the paints. I use thin washes for each color. I wait for these washes to dry, and then I apply a second, sometimes third coat, or even more until I have the desired saturation on the paper. The third color I will mix is the midpoint between the green and the red in the center square. This color should seem like it is halfway to green and halfway to red. It will look like a muddy brownish color. Once this color is mixed, I mix the remaining two colors. I use the same strategy for these colors. I will take breaks to squint my eyes, making sure that the color scale appears to be a gradient that fades smoothly from red to green. And here is my finished color scale. Remember, you will need to complete 2 of these for the second part of this painting exercise, so be sure to save room on your paper.